Welcome to week 2. All right, let's get right into this. First off, we're going to be focusing on our role teams, on different activities, and then back into our production teams. And just a reminder, a role team is that everybody in a class has the same role for that month or session. So directors, UI, etc. In School of Rock, we do it a little bit differently. You are working on different projects, 3 different projects throughout the month. One, practicing to practice. That's what you said, a SMART goal for yourself with an instrument. You're working on the audio production project of microphone auditioning, and I'm recording you in the next week or so. And then lastly, you're working on a composition project with DAW, or Digital Audio Workstation, or you're working with triads to create riffs or hooks or motifs. Okay, now let's go back into this. So this week in particular, you're updating the spreadsheet if you're in the film class or in game design. We want to fill out all this information. So in our role teams, we're setting SMART goals together. And let me just show you what this looks like. Here is a class that's one step ahead. So you can see these SMART goals. And the idea is in your role team, so all the menu writer, producer people would help co-author a SMART goal because they have the same goal. They have something they need to focus on. And same in the film class. And so when we look at the production sheet, you can see SMART goal, and at the bottom, it's going to have the top 4 things are what are due this month. And it's the same thing in the film class. The top 4 things are due depending on the role that you have. So you need to have these 4 things. Now, we've already talked about this last week, but we're really focusing right away this week on getting the spreadsheet filled out. And just a reminder, we need to find a professional who does our job well. Again, in our role teams, all the directors, I want you to find a director that you think is great. Talk to each other, find it, link to that person. And we're going to need to do a little more research with that person. And then resources. For the film class, it's the Bruce Block book, Visual Storytelling, or Visual Story. And so we are using that book. We have it in class. I have numerous resources linked within Schoology, but you can just cite that as your resource. And link to script, we don't have that yet. Finished film, we don't have that yet. If we go into the game view, Trello boards are made for both classes, for film classes and for game design classes. So your Trello boards are updated. Well, I just changed the name to session 4. You need to put all your tasks in there, but that'll be our second thing we do when we get back into our production teams. So first we're going to fill out all the spreadsheet stuff that we can. And you can see here information is being put in by the groups, and then link to itch, we can do that right away, and a link to the slideshow for both classes. Right away get the slideshow made and get it linked, and then people can be putting their evidence in later on as we have the evidence. But I like the teams to get the link put in there right away. And again, it is linked. When you go down the production here, you'll see that we have worksheets and so on and so forth. You can find the link to the slide template right here. So again, that's on the top project in film and game this week. All right. One more thing, when we talk about School of Rock, again, we are working on 3 projects simultaneously. And we're going to talk about setting goals each day, dividing up our time to work on projects. And we agreed last week that Wednesdays will be blog days. There'll be no instruments. It will be documentation, writing, making sure that we're getting all the expectations accomplished for our projects. So that will be how we focus our week. This week, I won't be here Wednesday, so I want you to be working on that on your own. And there will be a sub here, of course. I will be doing interviews at the district office. I got nominated to do that. So, all right, I think that wraps it up. Thanks for being here. And as always, check Schoology, read the material. That's your first thing. If you're at home and you're watching this, read it. Email me if you have questions after reading the instructions fully. If you're here at class, of course, read the instructions. Talk to your people who are sitting around you, either in the role teams or when we move back into production teams. Lean on them, ask questions, find out what's going on. All right, take care.